Hello, my name is Ade Owolabi. I'd like to encourage you from the scripture, John 1:5. And the light shone in darkness, and darkness comprehended it not. So, what are we saying here? There is no way you find darkness arguing with light. There is no way you find darkness fighting with light. Once light shows up, darkness dissipates, it disappears. That's the idea. Now, how does this relate to your marriage? Most of the people who complain to a counselor complain from the righteous point of view. They seem to be the more righteous partner, while the other party is the unrighteous partner. So let's put it that way. Let's take it in that breath, right? Maybe you're a believer, a Christian listening to me, and your spouse, husband or wife, have been the, problem in this marriage. I just want to encourage you from that scripture I just quoted, John 1:5. And light shone in darkness, and darkness comprehended it not. So I want to advise you. What do lights do? They shine. Light just shines. The Bible also says that you are the light of the world, a city set on a hill that is not supposed to be hidden, right? So my counsel is for you to shine. Now, what does that really mean? Let's take it as an acronym. SHINE. What does S stand for? S is surrender, and that's one of the reasons why many marriages don't work. We are not surrendering to the landlord. Who is the landlord here? The landlord is not your husband. The landlord is not your wife. The landlord is God, right? So if God is the landlord in this institution or house, right, your shining begins with you surrendering to Him. Now, what does that mean? SH. H means heed. HEED, right? Heed. What does it mean to heed? Is to obey. So you surrender to the landlord God, and then how do you show surrender? By obeying what the landlord has said. So man, love your wife like Christ loved the church. Woman, honor and respect your husband as unto the Lord. Heed. And I realize that sometimes also God speaks to us in different ways to do different things. For example, forgive your spouse. For example, go apologize. For example, get your spouse a gift. Sometimes these commands or instructions comes as a simple voice or a simple little thing which we discard or disobey, and then that leads to the complexities we face in our marriages, right? So how do you shine in your marriage in that difficult space? Number one, surrender to the landlord. Number two, heed the voice or instructions of the landlord. So SHINE. I take initiative for doing the right things, right? One party waiting for the other party to do the right thing. That is how marriages go down the drain. So don't wait. Take initiative and do what is right. Rather than waiting for your spouse to do the right thing, you do the right thing. That's how we shine. SHIN. What does N stand for? Negative emotions. Emotions are one of the greatest enemies to success in anything. Emotions are one of the greatest enemies to any success in anything, including marriage, right? So one of the reasons why people don't obey God in their marriages is emotion. I don't feel good. I feel cheated. I don't feel, So if you subject your obedience to God, to your emotions, your marriage will not strive. It will not survive. So you have to manage negative emotions. When you feel sad, when you feel vulnerable, when you feel lonely, when you feel unhappy, when you feel dejected, when you feel disappointed, those are the times when you need to be more careful, right? So S, surrender. H, heed. I, take initiative. And manage your emotions, right? Especially the negative ones. And then finally, E, empathize with your spouse. You need to empathize with your spouse. Sometimes we don't understand why the other party is behaving the way he or she is behaving, but from psychology we understand that there is a history to every behavior, and a lot of times we are not privy to the history behind the behavior we are fighting. Okay, so empathize with your spouse even when you really do not understand where she's coming from. Empathy will put you in a very good place that can eventually impact on your emotions, how you feel, that can eventually play out on how you obey or when you obey God. And in your obeying God, you see your marriage begin to take a new turn. It's a process, it's not magic, right? So I hope that helps. What am I encouraging us to do from this video? Shine. What does it mean to shine? S, surrender to God. H, heed God's instructions. I, take initiative for doing the right thing. N, manage your emotions, particularly your negative emotions. And E, empathize. I hope that helps. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. Bye.